In South Africa, the Northern Cape is the renewable energy hub. It's got so much abundance in terms of resource and in terms of the land. By the nature of these areas being in remote places, there's so much that these operations are bringing, which is job opportunities and also assisting the communities in terms of the socio-economic development.
Being in the renewable energy sector, we're actually plugging in to solve the energy crisis. But while we're doing that, we actually realize we are neighbors to people. So what we're trying to solve there are their needs that they identify to us. So we work with multiple stakeholders, including the local council, to make sure that we are creating jobs. We are helping with some social ills such as fetal alcohol syndrome. And we're also assisting in the education sector in a meaningful way to make sure that children actually get a chance to go to tertiary. The communities are shareholders in the form of a community trust. They actually have a say in what happens in their own communities. They have a say in the developmental needs that happen. So when we go back to the corporate part and we go back to the part where we're looking for the money, it really is in response to what a shareholder has asked for.
With Mulilo has assisted a lot of people. I can even testify trainings that they have brought, development that they have brought. Even if you can go around in our community, you'll see all the boards of Mulilo whereby they've been funded, a lot of people. That's why you'll see when people see Mulilo, everyone wants to be there because they know good to Mulilo. It's our hope, it's our confidence.
This mobile clinic is a service provider to all the public schools in Mthanjeni sub-district and the community that it serves. Those services being your dental, your blood pressure, HIV testing, and assessments of all the school children from foundation to FET phases. So we've made so much impact because we call the schools once and they are ready, they want us to come. So for me, it's huge. When the child is staying with the OMA, for instance, the only time the child gets to be seen by anyone is when the mobile is at the school. So those are those moments for us that are precious. We don't want to miss those. Those kids, they're helpless. They need someone like us to provide for them. So that for me is the biggest impact.
Mulilo have been playing a big part in our business because they paid for the accountants, they do our books for the accountants and stuff like that. And as we go, they actually mentored us step by step up until now with our business.
We have got 20 clients every 6 monthly that we basically identify and then give through to Mulilo for funding. All of the accounting service that we could possibly do for the client is basically free then. Most of the SMMEs belongs to a local business forum, and they know that we are basically their first point of contact in terms of if they need assistance with the company and getting it started up, just to get it going.
Going forward with Mulilo, I see is going to be a good path forward. Currently, we are just doing build-ins, but we want to expand to manufacture furniture and coffins as well. The thing is, we want to address the unemployment issue in our town because we have a high rate of unemployment in our town. So I think this one will try to elevate the poverty and the unemployment in our town for the youth. Actually, we're going to give them in-house training with the help of Mulilo. So after 1 year, they will have a certificate. We can actually empower the youth and create jobs for them. The initial plan is we want to, at the end of the program, or the beginning of the program, we actually want to employ more than 20 people. They also develop themselves. With the help of Mulilo, we can do that.
After submitting the Wi-Fi proposal, it was approved by Mulilo. So Mulilo assisted with buying the equipment. And then once the equipment was delivered, I then installed the Wi-Fi on the identified areas, which is the libraries, primary schools and high schools. And Mulilo also assisted me in creating work opportunities for the youth that needed exposure. With that said, they managed to gain that knowledge and skills, even find permanent employment now with the municipality. So now students now manage to do homework and research at the school. That's how, even if we look at the usage stats, you could see it's very high. I mean, if you look at a place like Marydale, we have like 90 people accessing it per day. It's a very small town, so you can definitely see how the community really needs the Wi-Fi.
Mulilo Bursary caters to all vocations across all sectors, across all tertiary education. I recruit my students from De Aar, Phillipstown, Pietersville, and Prieska. Those are my catchment areas. The problem we are trying to solve is huge unemployment. If you go into these towns, you can see it. There is poverty, there is unemployment, there is excessive alcohol abuse. There's very little hope. These small towns are so beautiful, but hope does not live there. We can't solve all of the problems, but we can solve a little bit of problems by adding some hope.
I'm Given Hugo, born and raised here in Phillipstown, and I was a recipient of the Mulilo Bursary for the past 4 years. I studied LLB. The long-term goal that I want to reach is to become an attorney. If it was not for this company, I would have still sat at home and being depressed, maybe end up as an alcoholic, a druggie, but this company came in and made it easier. My ultimate dream is, already I have been helped by Mulilo to achieve what I want to achieve in life. One day when I'm a lawyer, I will do a lot of cases for free, especially here in Phillipstown. I will do a lot of cases for free, at my own expense.
The thing is, growing up in my town, there's a lot of inequalities that are happening on a daily basis, from school to the community to politics to all of those things. So whenever those things happen, I always had that thing in the back of my mind that I want to make a difference here. I want to see like where I can make a difference in people's lives. When I think about it and when I go back to it, it's always been law. I've always seen myself in a courtroom, either fighting the judge or fighting my fellow colleagues. But that's always been what I wanted to do. It brought a new sense of hope to students, because before people were aware of Mulilo and what it does for students and how much it can help students, after matric, students would just go work at the local grocery stores. The ambition to actually go study wasn't there because the finances don't allow, and we are in a small town where no one is really in that paid bracket that whereby they can, pay for their own academics. So I feel like it has brought hope to a lot of students that their dreams can come true, and that if they work hard enough, they can get in and they can do and make something of themselves.
Every child that has become part of my social fabric, there's not one child that I don't have a story about, that I don't feel something for. My why I get up every single morning and fight like a bear for these children is that they have become something more. They have become a person with a dream and a want and a need, and it's a privilege to be part of that journey. The greater good that comes from this is that we are acknowledging that no matter where we come from, it doesn't stop us from going somewhere else. That's the greater good. End of story, bottom line. Where you come from does not determine where you're going to.